Yeah, that's right. I was a street performer. I was a street performer. I was a street performer. I was a street performer now, and I will always be first, a street performer.
You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The leading listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. At the end of this video is a message from R. Kelly to you. But first let's be reminded of what his case is all about and how he was betrayed by everyone else but you. The story of R. Kelly is a cautionary tale of talent, power and the brutal reality of how the entertainment industry operates. As the legal troubles surrounding Kelly mounted, what became painfully apparent to many of his supporters was that key players who once benefited from his genius were the first to abandon him when the waters got rough.
Making a song with R. Kelly was a mistake.
Chief among these entities being Sony Music, the label that reaped the rewards of Kelly's success for decades. Let's start by putting this in perspective. R. Kelly's partnership with Sony was incredibly lucrative for both parties. With over 75 million records sold worldwide, Kelly was not just an artist, he was an empire. His music catalog featuring timeless classics like I Believe I Can Fly, Ignition Remix and Step in the Name of Love became the backbone of the 90s and 2000s R&B. For years Kelly was a money machine producing hit after hit not just for himself but for countless other artists. He wrote and produced for the likes of Michael Jackson, Aaliyah, and Whitney Houston. Sony in fact profited immensely from his work, raking in billions over the years. But here's where the betrayal begins. As the allegations against R. Kelly resurfaced and gained traction in the public sphere, Sony's loyalty to one of its biggest stars began to waver. In fact, it is believed that it's Sony seeking his downfall so they take control of his music catalog for cheap.
They knew what they was going to do, and Sony knew what they was going to do, and Sony wanted to push the narrative out to the media, to the world about him doing this so that they can keep his $1 billion that they owed him when he asked for it. And then when he went to go ask for his $1 billion, when he went to go ask for his $1 billion from the industry, then all of a sudden all these allegations came about, and then they started investing into things to destroy his name.
When the surviving R. Kelly documentary aired in 2019 sparking widespread outrage and calls for accountability, Sony quickly moved to distance itself from the embattled artist. Despite decades of partnership, the label chose to sever ties with Kelly even before trial, effectively ending his recording career under their banner. Many saw this as a strategic move to protect their own image, but critical thinkers can actually see that Sony wanted R. Kelly's image damaged so they can take what belongs to him. After all, in the age of social media and cancel culture, public perception can make or break a brand. This move by Sony RCA was nothing short of a betrayal. Sony had no problem standing by Kelly during the height of his success when his music brought them prestige and wealth. But the moment the tide turned, they were among the first to jump ship. Let's not forget that these allegations against Kelly were not new. Rumors and accusations had been swirling for decades long before surviving R. Kelly brought them back into the spotlight. If this is about justice, then why did Sony look away for so long and only pounce on him when he was no longer making so much money for the corporation? This raises an important question: was Sony complicit? By continuing to work with Kelly and profit from his music, were they enabling the very behavior they later condemned? And if so, does their decision to drop him now absolve them of that complicity? These are questions that many of Kelly's supporters have been asking. To them, Sony's actions were not about morality or justice, they were about optics and self-preservation. In fact, Sony is the real reason R. Kelly is in prison. But Sony wasn't the only entity to turn its back on Kelly. As his legal troubles escalated, many of his former collaborators and industry peers distanced themselves as well. Some artists who once praised Kelly's talent and even worked alongside him publicly denounced him. Some went so far as to remove songs they had collaborated on from streaming platforms. The very people who had once sung his praises were now leading the charge to erase his legacy. And then there were the fans. While Kelly's core fan base has remained loyal, believing in his innocence or choosing to separate the art from the artist, the broader public's opinion has shifted drastically. The hashtag campaigns, boycotts and protests have all played a role in tarnishing his once untouchable image. To therefore have supporters and fans like you on this platform is amazing and encouraging for the R&B king. Now listen to his message. To all my fans, supporters and those who have stood by me through thick and thin, this is R. Kelly. As we approach the holiday season, which ideally is a time of love, togetherness and reflection, I wanted to reach out and let you know that I see you, I feel you, and I'm so grateful for the unwavering support you've shown me. Your prayers, your letters, your messages, they've been my lifeline, my light in the darkest moments and my constant reminder that I'm not alone in this fight. Christmas has always been a time of hope and miracles. This year, as I sit here reflecting on the journey I've been on, I feel a deep sense of faith in God, faith in the truth, and faith that sooner than later I will be home. I've faced challenges that I never imagined, and yes, I've made mistakes along the way. But through it all, I've learned the power of resilience, the importance of standing firm in your truth, and the beauty of a community that refuses to give up on you. To my supporters, you've done more than I could ever ask for. You've raised your voices when mine was silenced. You've stood in the gap when the world turned its back. And let me tell you this, your efforts have not been in vain. Every step you take, every word you speak, every prayer you whisper, it's all moving us closer to the truth, closer to freedom, and closer to the day when we can celebrate together. I know some of you are wondering how I've been holding up. And while this journey has been far from easy, my faith has kept me strong. Every night I close my eyes and picture the day I walk free, the day I'm able to hug my loved ones again, and the day I can create music not from a place of pain but from a place of redemption and joy. I hold on to that vision, and I know that with God's grace and your continued support, that day is finally coming. You've reminded me why I started making music in the first place. Music has always been my way of connecting, of healing, and of sharing my soul with the world. And I promise you this: the music hasn't stopped. It's still alive in me. The melodies, the lyrics, the passion, it's all waiting to be shared. And when I'm back, I'll make sure it's worth the wait. Christmas is also a time of forgiveness. To those who have misunderstood me, judged me, or even turned away from me, I forgive you. Life is too short to hold on to anger or bitterness. I believe in reconciliation, in understanding, and in moving forward. And as I look ahead, I choose to focus on love, hope, and the promise of a brighter future. So, as you celebrate this holiday season, I ask you to keep believing, keep praying, and keep spreading the love that this season represents. I'm not giving up, and neither should you. Together we're stronger. Together we're unstoppable. And together we'll see this through. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. May this season bring you peace, joy, and the strength to overcome whatever challenges you may face. And remember, sooner than later I'll be home. Until then, stay strong, stay faithful, and know that I'm holding on to the love you've given me. Thank you for your unwavering support. Robert Sylvester Kelly. If you want to be featured in our video releases, send us your clips by emailing them to hnnewsroom242@gmail.com or use Google Drive for larger files. Be sure to include your name and any details you'd like us to know. We can't wait to showcase your contributions. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.